Hi guys, we're going to start Unit 4, Section 1 today on parallel and perpendicular lines. Parallel lines never intersect each other, and I'm probably going to pause the video as I write words, or the video will take 20 minutes. So I'm going to pause while I write intersect, and they never intersect because they have the same slope. So I could graph a pair of parallel lines if I just gave my two lines the same slope. So this line has a slope of 1. And I'll draw another line down here. This line also has a slope of 1, rise 1, run 1. And you can see the two lines are parallel. They're never going to intersect each other because they have the same slope. All right, let's tell the slope of this line. We know that this is in point slope form, so our slope is -4. And in the second example, I'm going to have to do a little work. I'm going to have to put it into y equals mx plus b form by subtracting 3x first. So I have -2y to drop down, and on the right side, the -3x and the 7 are like oil and water. They don't mix. We'll divide everything by -2, and we end up with y equals positive 3/2 x minus 7/2. So the slope on this one is positive 3/2. A parallel line would have the same slope. Okay, let's look at the next example. It says write the equation of the line that is parallel to y equals negative 2x plus 4 and passes through the point -6, 7. So I know my slope needs to be the same as the slope of the given line, but it needs to pass through the point -6, 7. So I'm going to use y equals mx plus b to find my y-intercept. So I'm going to plug in 7 where y is. I'm going to plug in -2 for my slope. I'm going to plug in -6 for my x value. And I'm solving for b. So 7 equals 12 plus b. We'll subtract 12 from both sides. And we get -5 equals b. So my equation in y equals mx plus b form would be y equals -2x minus 5. So this new line is parallel to my original line because they have the same slope, but my new line passes through the point -6, 7. Okay, let's move on. Write the equation of the line that is parallel to this line and goes through the x-axis at 4. Let's find the slope of this line. This line's in standard form, so 4y minus 5x equals 20. Let's find its slope. Let's add 5x to both sides. And we have 4y is equal to 5x plus 20. We divide by 4. And we have y equals 5/4 x plus 5. So our slope is positive 5/4. If it goes through the x-axis at 4, that means that it passes through the point 4, 0. It passes through the x-axis at 4. It's got an x-intercept of 4, 0. We could even use the point slope form to find the equation. So we would say y minus y1, which is 0, equals our slope, 5/4, times x minus x1, which is 4. So we get y equals 5/4 x, because we're distributing, and 5/4 times -4 is -5, and now we've got it in y equals mx plus b form. And there we go. Let's take a look at the last column where we learn about perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines are lines that meet to make right angles. They intersect at right angles. Whoops, my pen's not working. Okay, I got it to work again. Perpendicular lines intersect at a right angle, and I drew two perpendicular lines. Your x and your y-axis are perpendicular to each other, and they have slopes that are opposite reciprocals. So what opposite reciprocals means, they have opposite signs. So if one is positive, the other is negative. And then the number itself, the reciprocals of each other, like 2/3 and 3/2. What would be -3/2? 2/3 and -3/2. So if our original slope is -1/4, our perpendicular slope would be positive 4/1. If our original slope is positive 2/1, our perpendicular slope would be -1/2. If our original slope is positive 2/3, our perpendicular slope would be -3/2. And if our original slope is -6/7, our perpendicular slope would be positive 7/6. So you see how it works. So if our equation is -y equals 2/3 x minus 8, we would have to multiply everything by -1 because we want it to be y equals -2/3 x plus 8. So the perpendicular slope would be positive 3/2. The opposite reciprocal of -2/3 would be positive 3/2. And this one, the slope is easy. This one, the slope is -7. So the opposite reciprocal would be positive 1/7. So when we come to this column, the third column, when we talk about perpendicular lines, it says write the equation of the line that is perpendicular to y minus 8 equals -2/5 times the quantity x plus 2. It goes through the y-axis at 4. So if it goes through the y-axis at 4, that point is 0, 4. And if the slope of this line is -2/5, then we want to use a slope of positive 5/2 if the lines are perpendicular. And the point 0, 4, let's just use the point slope form. So we have y minus 4 equals our slope, which is 5/2, times x minus our x value, which is 0. So we have y minus 4 equals 5/2 times x would be 5/2 x. Add 4 to both sides. And in y equals mx plus b, it would be y equals 5/2 x plus 4. Whoops, 5/2 x plus 4. And there we have it. Let's look at the last example. Write the equation of the line that is perpendicular to this line and goes through the point -4, 5. Okay, so I'm going to have to find the slope of this line first. So we've got 3y minus 12x minus 4 equals 0. So I'm going to leave my y's on the left. I'm going to add 12x and add 4 to both sides. Add 12x and add 4. That's just because I want to get my y's alone on the left. So I have 3y equals 12x plus 4. We'll divide everything by 3. And we have y equals 4x plus 4/3. So the slope of this line is 4, but a perpendicular line would have a slope of negative 1/4. So we need to use negative 1/4, and we want it to pass through the point negative 4, 5. We can either use y equals mx plus b, or we can use point slope. It doesn't matter. So I don't know. Let's just use y equals mx plus b this time. So y equals mx plus b. So y, which is 5, equals the slope, which is negative 1/4, times x, which is negative 4, plus b. So we get 5 equals negative 1/4 times negative 4 is a positive 1, plus b. Subtract 1 from both sides, so we have 5 equals 1 plus b. Subtract 1, and we have 4 equals b. And so our equation, using a slope of negative 1/4 and a y-intercept of 4, is y equals negative 1/4 x plus 4. And that's it. Our homework for today is a Delta Math. Hope to see y'all on Monday. Bye. Have a great weekend.